Hello, viewers at home. How are you doing? Welcome back to another edition of If Marriage is Hard Work. Today's edition is edition 8, and we actually have three guests that will be joining us today, aside myself, and our two other guests will be joining shortly. And we're going to do it in another dimension today. What we are going to be looking at today is going to be the importance of finances, how this can affect marriages, how this can make a marriage a hard work. And we'll also be looking at the importance of romance in marriage, how this can affect couples in marriage. And I have three guests that will be coming online today. Two of my guests will be joining shortly. Sorry about that. But here now with me, I have Dr. Sean in the house. And this will be his second time coming on this show today. And I hope we're going to have a good time today. And I'll be having Dr. Ibuko. He was the one that anchored the edition 6 of this married talk show, and his beautiful wife, Sister Blessing, that anchored the edition 4. They will be joining us shortly. But I think they're here. I'll be adding them to the background shortly. So today's edition is going to be wow, and we're going to have fun today. So, Doctor, so now I have Dr. Ibuku. I think I have to make this work. Okay, good. Yeah. I have Dr. Ibuku in the house. I have Dr. Shan, and I have Sister Blessing. Oh, the table is going to be shattered today. I hope you guys are ready. Okay. But normal saying, we would like to give you a shout out. Please let us know where you're joining from so that we can give you a shout out. And I'm going to introduce my guest again. I think I need to introduce you again. Dr. Ibukun, Sister Blessing, and Dr. Sean, welcome to the show. Do you have anything to say before I put you right on the hot seat?
No, I think I'm sitting right on the hot seat already. Just want to say thanks so much, everyone. There's been a lovely conversation for the past couple of weeks on this episode. I think everybody's learning. We are all on a journey together. Nobody's an expert on this. We are all really working hard to make our family better. We are all working hard to be better husband, better wives, and make our kids better at the same time. So regardless of where you might be joining from, I think the ask is for you to just take away one or two things from this and make your family better. I think that's the main thing we're all targeting.
Well, that's good. Dr. Ibukun and Mrs. Blessing, do you have anything to say before we dive into today's show?
I want to say thank you one more time for inviting us. I think it's fun being on this show, and we enjoyed it last time. And our viewers from all over the world, welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being on the show today. To dive in right into the show, I would like to ask you my first question. I think this is another important part in marriage that actually cause a lot of rigors in marriage. And I will be picking on your wealth of wisdom today to educate our young adults and the people that are married. We want them to stay married. And the first question I'll be asking you, my guest today, is what do you think finance is all about in marriage? How does this affect marriage if it is not done right? And what will be your advice? So you'll be speaking to two set of people, the married couples, we want them to stay married, and the unmarried couple, unmarried young adults that are looking forward to embracing this wonderful institution called marriage. So what would be your advice? Do you think young unmarried adults should just go into marriage without talking about finances? And the people that are in finance, that are in marriage, do you think, let me rephrase that, do you think young unmarried adults should go into marriage without talking about finances, how this can affect their marriage? And the people that are already married, do you think the aspects and issue of finances should just be swept under the carpet without being discussed? What will be your take on this? I'll start with you, my people from Mrs. Before I can
Yeah, go ahead.
start.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, you're saying ladies first, right? Well,
Ladies.
I want to say honestly, thank you so much, Miss Cecilia, and of course, my big mentor, Dr. Sean, for the invitation. I just want to say also thank you to our viewers. It's always a blessing to come on the show, and I'm excited for all the learning. I love the panelists, and I'm excited, looking forward to learning something new today. Now, when we talk about finance and marriage, it's one of those things in marriage that one of the big decisions or pillars in marriage, because honestly, you make financial decision every day, either as an individual or even in your marriage. There is absolutely nothing. You talk about the house you live. If you live abroad, you talk about mortgage or your rent. You're talking about school students, your kids' education. There's a whole lot of issues. Grocery. Every day you're making financial decision. So it's one of those things that you have to truly understand, and you have to truly see what each person thinks about finance before you even go into marriage. Here, one thing is that finances, either your personal, so sometimes the way we handle finances comes from our own personal experiences growing up, how we are being trained, the exposures or the trainings or the experiences we have around money from what our parents did or didn't do. Those things carry into how you're also going to handle your finances even when you come together in marriage. So it's a big area that you have to truly understand and be on the same page, or at least be on a point where you can compromise, and and if you don't deal with it, it's going to cause a major issue in marriage. So I will just stop here and
Yeah, just adding to that, we've talked to our friends, like family friends, a couple of friends that we know, and you know, and to know that it's only one person that handle finances in the marriage. It is very common, especially when it comes to we that will come from the continent of Africa, especially the West African countries, where the man is the one that handle everything finances. Talking of mortgage, talking of anything that has to do with how money goes out of the family, how money comes in the family, where money goes into, is only one party that that controls, that truly have the deciding factor. uh my wife was talking to a friend of ours recently, and she was asking how much do they pay a mortgage. She was like, no, my husband will handle those things. I don't even know. I don't know. uh how much did what kind of mortgage did you guys have? They don't know what kind of why did you take this kind of decision. I don't know, let me ask my husband. And that is a problem, because two cannot work together unless they agree, and there has to be agreement on all fronts, not only marriage, on all fronts. The two has to come together to understand, because if I'm carrying this load here and my wife doesn't know that I'm even carrying this load, and she's going to carry another load, then all that burden is going to be on me. All the load of all the burden is going to be on her. So it weighs down. It weighs down. But when we do that together, we understand, we know the goals, what is our future, and all those things together will be, will be very, very important in marriage. Also comes to finances, the planning and everything. I know there's going to be more questions along the way, but I will just give that as an intro. Like togetherness and doing everything in one, it is very, very important. What I know, the rule in a relationship, that what I know, my wife has to know about it. There is no gap. So that by the time I'm talking, I'm saying something, she know what I'm talking about. Then she can back me up in that, because we are thinking about the same thing and we're going the same direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dr. Shem, before I ask you my guest question, I'd like to hear your own point of view regarding finance and marriage.
Yeah. I think you did a good job baking the cake already. I'm just gonna put an icing on that cake. Uh, so we're all Christians, right? And I think the second chapter of Genesis, verse 25, says something like they were both naked before each other and they were not ashamed. And we could actually apply that to finances as well. To say maybe you're a young adult walking into a marriage. Finance is something that we definitely want to sit down to talk about. Definitely, we want to understand the man. If from the lady's perspective, you want to understand the man, like, okay, what's your career goal or what's your business goal? What do you want to do for you to make money to take care of us as a family? And we're also living in a generation where ladies are not left behind as well. We're no longer in the world where ladies sit at home and wait for husband to work. I mean, ladies are getting their PhDs and they're doing businesses and they're making millions of dollars now or naira. So both of them really need to talk about this is what we want to do, this is how we think we should do it, and they make sure they're both on the same page on that. And then when we really get into marriage, I think it's important for both of them to be transparent, like complete openness to each other. From the man perspective, you don't want to have all these account or all these assets and you're hiding it from your wife for what? Or you're the lady and you're hiding something from your husband for what? If you start to do that, you start to lose trust. I mean, by the time the wife is losing trust in you or the husband is losing trust in you, it is easier to lose trust than to build trust. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you've lost trust, one way or the other, you have to work double to gain that trust again. You have to make sure that you're always on your feet to rebuild that trust. So again, the point is it's very important to talk about finance, and it's very important for those in marriage to be completely open with each other, as Dr. Abike rightly said. If some people are not really into, they say they're not really into accounting, they don't want to play, but you still need to understand. I mean, there are some basic things. The kids' tuition, what you pay for rent, what you pay for mortgage, what you spend on grocery, things you both need to understand. So finance is good. I think there was a song by a Nigerian musician that said money is good, but big money is better, something like that. Yeah, I don't really know that song. But the point is, good money make marriage or relationship more enjoyable. You get to travel the world, you get to do what you feel like doing, you get to buy your spouse some good gift, and then you get to take care of yourself. Very lovely. But as we do all of these things, we need to understand that money is not really the main thing, but what we use that money to do is the main thing. Complete transparency and openness. Every woman wants somebody they can look up to. Maybe you have the big salary or you have the smaller salary. You just want to be able to play the good role of the leader in the family, and then pull your wife along as you play that role. Very important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shan. Thank you, Dr. IBK. Thank you, Miss Blessing, for the word of wisdom. So I'm going to pick the three of you up on this. I've seen a scenario whereby unmarried young adults, they want to get into marriage, but the guy or the lady is trying to pretend to be more than what they are not. And the other person will come into the marriage gullibly, hoping that their husband to be is this billionaire or their wife to be is this billionaire. And they get into marriage, the wife starts spending the money, hoping they have a lot. And the husband now is trying to cover up. What would be your advice to that type of person? Then I've also heard about this before. Married couple in Texas. Anytime the husband do something that gets her angry, the way she treats the husband's fuck up is by getting the credit card, just go blow the money. So what will you say? Because I'm thinking for a woman to have done that, that means there are some level of not being open to each other. So what will you say? Because this internet, social media age that we are now, it has made some people to portray what they don't actually have. So,
Hmm.
what will be your advice? And this is Breaking Home, and this show is about helping the married couple stay in marriage and helping the young adults realize some things that they don't know before they enter into marriage. So, I will start with you, Mrs. Blessing.
Yes. First of all, I want us to define what money is. The first place, because I see a lot of people have very wrong view of money. One, money is just in its basic form is a tool. It's a tool to exchange value. That is in its basic form. Money does not bring happiness. There are a lot of people that are trying to buy happiness with money, and they carry that idea into marriage. And a lot of people also have this wrong view that, you know what, my value depends on how much I have in my bank account.
Hmm.
And they rub it off when they are coming to marry somebody or when they are thinking about marriage. First, for a lady, you know what, he loves me because he's spending money on me.
Hmm.
He loves me. And when you get into marriage, you will find that the most, even when you see all this money that is being spent, but if the man is not there, or if the woman is not there, if the woman does not respect you, if the man does not respect you, then, and again, I would say money is a tool to exchange value. And before you get into marriage, is very critical you yourself to understand, how do I use money? Is it because so many people, there are voids in their life they are trying to use money to feed, and that just doesn't work. Now you ask yourself, how do I, what is my personal relationship with money? Before you try, if you understand yours, then you can ask the person you want to get married to understand what is their personal relationship with money. Because all these things that, you know what, my husband can do anything and I'll blow up the money because of, not necessarily, it's just because of the way they've always had with money. If you see money as a tool, like I tell people, why would you, you know, you, I don't know how to say it, you were just blowing something that you know that you don't have that money and you're spending it, and you know for sure, that tomorrow that money is gone. And people live on this white lie all over on social media. And what do I want to say is that if you are married and you think that money can fill the void that you're feeling in your, no, it's all about coming up, talking, having a transparent discussion. And you have to do this before you get into marriage. I tell people, you have to do this before you get into marriage. Money discussion is, you don't have money problem when you get, that money problem already started before you get married. And that because you don't have a very transparent, open courtship where you discuss those things. And I'm just going to be open. For us, I remember when we were dating, and this is just, for me, I don't see money don't my value is not tied to whatever money I have or whatever money can buy for me. That doesn't impress me. I remember when we were cutting, and I told him, you know what, I don't care about money, I don't care about you buying me gift. All I need, I told him, I need your love, your respect, and your loyalty. Those three things. And even right now, I never asked him to buy me Mother's Day gifts, Father's Day gifts, all these gifts. No. I say, in as much as I'm alive and I can breathe and I'm healthy, I'm going to work for money. Because these were principles that my mother taught me. My father taught me, being able to be independent and being able to fend for yourself. You cannot depend on others. I told him that. He understood. And while we were cutting, we had a session during our marriage counseling that dealt basically on finance, to understand what is my perspective, my relationship with money, to understand what is important to him. Because sometimes the way we spend money is either out of ignorance because we are not taught at home, or it could be as a result of fear, as a result of how our parents treated money. There are people that they see money as something, don't even go there, don't be rich, because if you get rich, you're going to hell. It's true. There are people that, you know what, you have to do all it takes at all costs to be there to make it. It is only when you make it that people will respect you. And those are two extremes relationship with money. So I had to understand from him. And I'm telling you, in fact, we started together buying properties and doing things while we didn't even know if we're going to get married, when we're going to get married, as though we already married. He knew every password to all my bank info. I know his. Until today is still the same way. So there is nothing like his money or my money or our money. If you as a family come together and create a vision for your wealth, I call this family wealth. You create a vision. Where there is no vision, where there is no clear communication of goals and vision, people begin to treat money anyhow. Like the woman that blew up, or the man, I don't know, whoever that blew up the money because there is no, she sees that it is his money. It is not her money. So she doesn't see herself as a partaker. She's just like a participant. She's not participating. She's just like a speculate, what's it called? Outside the fence watching the game. She's not in. So it's like my husband's money. You know what? I'm going to get even with you. Let me spend your money. So, but if there is a common goal and everybody knows, our family, we know what are we targeting. So I can't even expect him to buy me a gold ring or whatever right now, because I know that is not the priority. It's never anywhere in the priority in our financial goal right now in the family. So it's those setting those goals, and that starts from before courtship. For those people that are willing to get into marriage, you have to be able to iron those things out. And those people that are already in the marriage, if you want to build wealth, you want to grow, you have to lay every financial discussion. It has to be open and transparent.
That's a good point.
How about you?
Yeah, I think a lot had been said. I couldn't agree more. And I think Dr. Sean mentioned something that's very important, when he was talking trust. Because the reason why I'm gonna get your credit card and go spend it all is because I know that I don't, there's an issue with trust in there. And that's the reason why maybe the man or the woman, they will have a separate account that nobody knows. And you know what problem that can get to? Many people pass away in this world. One day we're going to pass. That a lot of people, they have big money somewhere. You know what comes? It becomes the money on property of the government. Even your kids cannot have access to it because you're hiding it. So we see where trust can lead us into. And now, I'm going to appeal to everyone on this planet, because on this platform, we can say, he's the one doing it, she's the one doing it, but we're also contributing in one way or the other to it. What is my contribution? Why is it that maybe my wife or my husband doesn't trust me? Or he's the only one that doesn't trust? Hey, maybe I have to look critically into myself as well. What can I do? What can I change to amend this relationship? If I spend his money, if I spend our money, it is my money. It might not affect me directly, but it's going to affect some people that are more important than me, my kids. And God forbid that I allow anything to affect them in that way. I would just, add that to it as well.
Well, how about you, Dr. Sean?
Yeah, I think that very beautiful contribution by both of you over there. The only thing I'm going to add to that is maybe you are a young person just going into marriage, or you're already in a marriage. I think it's advisable for both husband and wife to really analyze their relationship or their marriage, and ensure that everybody is bringing something to the table. I mean, everybody has a unique skill, personality, there's a way God has structured all of us. And there's a reason why God said, if I leave this man to be alone, he's going to be a mess. I need to fix him really fast. And the way I'm going to fix him, I'm going to take something out of his rib, make him a wife, and give it to him so that he can take care of it. As men, we have some blind spots that our ladies help us to look at our blind spots. Nobody's perfect, right? And as ladies, they have a lot of blind spots that the men help to look at the blind spot too. By the time two of them come together, there's a mathematical stuff I love to say all the time. I have A1 in further math. I have A1 in math. I'm really good at it. But there's a biblical math that says one can chase 1,000 and two, it's a 10,000. I don't know how that works, but I'm saying as husband and wife, we need to understand that two of us, we've come together and we both have something to give. Now, when it comes to finance, if a husband is trying to go into business, I mean, run it by your wife. Hey, sweetheart, what do you think about this? I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this. I mean, just talk to your husband or talk to your wife. If you have the grace to talk to your husband or your wife about your job, about your trade, about your business, just rub mind after the day and just, they're going to give you some feedback and take it, even if it's criticism. And we want that criticism to be mutual criticism, right? We don't want to go nya 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 criticism. No, we don't want that. But we definitely want to bounce it off of each other and then be a better person, be a better husband, be a better wife, be a better spouse, or be a better boyfriend and girlfriend trying to get married in that case. Now, the main point over here is as husband and as wife, we definitely need to come together. Again, it goes to the back to the point of complete openness. As you rightly said, Dr. IBK, yes, a lot of people have lost things in life because they decide to hide it away from their wife. A lot of people have retirement funds that they maybe they don't even have their wife as the beneficiary. I mean, and then they pass and all this money just go away. The government is happy to take all this money away. If you think you are working against somebody by not building the trust and the relationship here, you're only working against yourself. And also, if you have kids, you're completely working against those kids. But whatever thing you build between a husband and wife is for your benefit and for the benefit of the kid that God has given you.
Wow. That's a lot of wealth of wisdom. So, my guess, what you're trying to say in essence is that if any of the spouses, maybe the man or the woman, are trying to hide their finances from their spouse, they are setting themselves up for failure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Okay, before we round up this finance topic, I have one question for you. So, from all what you said, I can actually summarize that you believe that finances not discussed for young unmarried adults before they get into marriage, or for the married couple, finances not discussed even in marriage can make marriage a hard work. Okay.
It's a time bomb.
It's a time bomb. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot there. So I have this question for you to wrap everything up. How do you handle you get married to somebody, the person is a spender, you are a saver. Or you are about to get married to somebody and you could see everything written in red that this person is a spender, I'm a saver. How do you manage that so that marriages is not broken, so that we don't get divorced, and so that the people that even want to get into marriage, their marriage can last? What would be your advice? How do we navigate that? Dr. IBK, how do we navigate that? A spender and a saver coming together, or a spender and a saver already in marriage? How do we?
So, for people coming together, there will always be something different from me and my fiancé, or vice versa. I wouldn't expect that. Okay, this person that will marry, that I want to marry, we think like I think, we act like I act, we behave, or we want to see values, in some things that I also have values in. Where I might as well marry myself, and in fact, if you want to marry yourself, sometimes you get mad at yourself, so that means you can't even marry yourself because you're going to get mad at yourself. So I think it's just more of sitting down, having open conversation, just like Dr. Sean said, because we are coming from different backgrounds. Some people, maybe they come from a more wealthy family, they like to spend. Some people, they come from really, really, humble background. They never had the little that they had, they want to keep. Or Even because they don't have a lot when they were growing up, they want to spend it because they never had that all those things. They never had anything to to play with. Now I have things I have to spend it. To force to understand why is this so, and now to come have a open conversation, honest conversation. How can I adjust to this man? How can this man adjust to me? How can we make things things better? Because right now, and for both parties, once we are in marriage, now it is not only about me anymore. It is not about the way I spend anymore. It is not the way I do things anymore. It is the way we do things now. It is the way we do things. If I'm doing this, if I'm spending in this way, that maybe my spouse or my spouse to be is not really happy, then it's something that I have to check. And just not only about finance. If anything that I'm doing, there's something that I can see that or I know that I do this. I know that he or she is not going to like it. Maybe we have to come now and discuss it so that we are on the same page. We discuss it in openness, and perhaps maybe we might even seek advice or counsel. From those people that we truly respect and love, God in their life, because I'm a Christian. I like to, and just to say it, not because we're on this platform. Dr. Sean and Mrs. Cecilia has been an example for our home, for our family, because of the way they do things. There's a sense of togetherness. And there's a sense of, I asked, I think the other day we were talking, so they mentor us in a lot of things. We're talking, myself and my wife, and I said, am I going to go Dr. Sean? Am I going to go Dr. Sean? He's busy. And my wife said, I'm going to call Miss Cecilia because I can get her quickly. And I know that Dr. Sean can give me this answer. But I can't get her. I can't get him immediately. But I know my wife said I can get Mrs. Cecilia. Now we are looking for the same information, but we know without any doubt that we can get that same information from either of the two. And that is very important. That we know that we work together, we do things together. And of course, I don't think Dr. Sean, we would know this if Dr. Sean had not been working together with Miss Cecilia, or Miss Cecilia has not been working. That is very important. Open conversation. Let me know where you're going so that I can walk with you along that. And I think it just both sides has to be very, very intentional about that. And that's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Dr. Iboko. That's so good.
All right. So a spender and a saver. As a financial coach, because I coach a lot of people in finances, you get that a lot. And again, that stems from our background, our relationship, previous relationship with money, how we are being brought up, what experiences we had, even seeing our parents deal with money. Like he put the different scenarios. How do you do that? How do you work on that? First is recognizing that if we don't deal with this, if you're getting into marriage, or if you continue to ignore, it's not going to be an issue, or it's not an issue, then we're planning to fail in our marriage. It's just going to take it just and especially in America, I try to, especially in America, where you can, if you do not plan for your money, it's so much, you get into this rat race, and you can't beat the system without understanding finance in America. Is because there is no way. It's either you're working for your family or you're working for the government. Whichever, you have to choose. Now, if you're in love with somebody, this person is a spender or I'm a saver, and you need to first recognize this is going to be an issue if we don't treat it. It's just the same way if you have any health condition, you have to proactively attack it, or if not, later on in life, it's just going to be, it gets worse over time if you don't treat it. Now, this other time, after recognizing this is going to be an issue, you seek help. Sometimes if you try to solve by yourself, if it doesn't work, you have to seek external help. And that's how seeking counsel. It can be friends that that they are good with money. Seeking counsel can be even going through a financial coach, going through a financial planner. And is very important because for me as a spender or as a saver, if I understand a bigger purpose and bigger picture of money, what my money could do for me outside of just me buying nice shoes and nice handbag, what about money can buy you time back with your family, quality relationship, quality memories that you can outlive and your children could still, you are not worried that your name will be forgotten. There are people that have created trust fund to fund projects that are so important to them. When we take ourselves outside of my money is just for me and create a bigger purpose, then we begin to adjust because we see a bigger picture of what money is as a tool. You get me? And that sometimes it's not easy to paint those pictures, just both of us, because sometimes, because he, the way he's, if he's a big spender or a big saver and I'm a spender, I want to spend, I don't want somebody, the way he might be coming, because what I'm doing is affecting him. So sometimes when he's coming to me, I might see that he doesn't want me to enjoy. That's why you seek external help to help you people get out of your way and be able to fix that issue. So seeking counsel, seeking help, seeking what's it called, professionals. The same way if you are sick, you go to the doctor. There are professionals, financial coach, financial planners that can help you paint a bigger picture so that when you people are talking about money, you are seeing the same thing. It's going to be easier to deal with that way.
Wow. Thank you so much, Miss. Thank you so much, Miss Blessing. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Over to you, Doctor.
Yeah, I think there's the only thing just add to that is the spender is not perfect and the saver is not perfect. Somewhere in between is where the sweet spot is. I want to find that sweet spot. Now, the person accusing the other person, maybe it's the spender that is accusing the saver, or the saver is accusing the spender. We don't want to think, oh, I'm the better one, he's the worst one. Oh, I'm the better one, she's the mess. We don't want that. Now, we want two of us to come together and then be able to define our financial goal, as you rightly said then. That, okay, I want to understand your understanding of money. And I want to understand what you think about money as we walk this forever journey together. And then we want to come together to say, okay, if we have X amount of naira or dollar, this is what we can do with it. This is what we think we should do with it. This is what we think we should. You don't have the money yet, but maybe it's even money that you already have. Let's say you're already married, you already have the money. Okay, we have $1 million in the account. What should we do with it? We want to both come together and have that conversation, and we both want to have a teachable mind. I mean, if one person remain stagnant and say, hey, I stand over here and nothing can bend me, then we're in trouble. I mean, we want to fix that first. Doesn't matter, maybe it's the husband or it's the wife. We want to fix that first. If the spender has a teachable mind, or the saver has a teachable mind, and two of them come together to define what they want to do with money, the problem is half solved at that point. Because they can easily have that goal and they both work towards that goal. That's why you rightly said earlier that if your husband went out of his way to go buy something of $500,000 for you, now you'll be like, wait a sec, that is not in our goal. Where you get the money from? You can question it because you know all the cards, right? You definitely want your spouse to know all the cards. That doesn't mean you cannot still surprise your spouse. You can. Everything is not about money. I think the way we think at times, we always think everything is money, money, money. No, everything is not about money. So we definitely want that openness to be there. I keep going back to it. And we also want to make sure that we both have open mind teachable mind to be able to have that communication, and whatsoever thing we agree on, we both now work towards it. So the spender now has to cut it down a little bit. The saver now has to learn how to spend and enjoy herself a little bit. Feel free. Let's go to the restaurant. Let's take care of ourselves. Or let's go to that vacation. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We will still be fine. Because the question we need to ask is, why is the saver saving every time?
Mhm.
Or why is the spender spending every dime? I mean, let's have that conversation so that I can understand you better, or so that you can understand me better. Even this problem we're talking about can even bring us together more. Because
Mhm.
I'll learn more about you, you learn more about me, and we'll be able to strike a balance and work together better.
Wow.
Yeah, I just want to, I think, Dr. Shan, you mentioned something very important. Uh, Understanding why, because sometimes we see all we see, we are just seeing symptom, we are not even actually seeing the root cause. Most of these money issues that we see arise in marriage, he's spending, he's always spending. It's right for women, some people won't even take their eyes off Amazon is always sending them this and that and that. Is not just the spending, there is something behind the spending. There is something even deeper behind the spending. Oh, my husband is never allow me to spend money. This, he's always keeping money, saving money, thinking about the future, thinking about the next project. Doesn't even want to. No, there is something behind that. It can be insecurity issue. It can be fear. It can be some loneliness behind it, and that is why coming to discuss it. And I'm just going to be, since we are here, just to keep it real and being transparent on this, is why it is important that couples work together, especially with their finances. It does not matter either you're in America, you are in Nigeria, you are in India, wherever you are, it's the same principle that govern money, the same finance. Money, one, is not bad. Money, people say money is the root of, they say, if you don't use money rightly, it can be the root of every evil, even in your marriage. Here, true story. I am not somebody that spends so much. I think I spend based on priority, and he also is very similar, and we have that very basic understanding when it comes to our finance. Here's the thing. 2022 was a very tough year for me. He was living in Florida. I was in Georgia with our 1 year old at the time because of job. And we had some other family this thing that happened, being alone and all of that. And I was working so hard. I got into this kind of mild, kind of not depression kind of state. And I was like, why would I be working this hard and I cannot even spend money on this and this? Meanwhile, I have bills and things coming. I was so frustrated. You know what I did? I went on Shein. I ordered things I don't even need. I went on Amazon. I ordered things I don't even need. I would just spend. I knew I was just spending. I didn't even know what I was spending on. I was just like, but one thing that shocked me, that he is always, it was like, wow, he was always on top of things. It's like, baby, baby, what's going on? This is not you. What
Keep
is
going.
I was just so then I had to just let him. I was going through a very tough time then. But I recognize I became, instead of me that used to be okay, very wise when it comes to money and all that. No, I became a spender in the moment. And that could happen. But he was able to catch that because he knew who I was with money. He knew that it wasn't the money. He knew that something else was behind it. And I thank God I was able to open up to him, and then we ironed the whole thing out. And because that spending, those he couldn't even still feel that should I even say what was going on. So I tell people it's very important, don't just attack, try to understand behind the scene of what is actually going on in relationship with money with each partner.
And just to cap that out, I think when we discuss that, and I recognize, okay, being away, it's really difficult. Being away from your spouse and things, you're not seeing each other, you're not able to discuss everything that you discuss every day. And that was when it's okay, you know what? You're getting good salary from that. We're gonna cut it off. I need to come back home. I need you to be intact for me, even if they're gonna suffer a little bit, for this period. Come back home to me, baby. I need you.
I love that. I love that. I think I want to add something to that, though. That, as you rightly said earlier, Madam Blessing, that money, if I put $1 million on this table, if nobody touches it, in a week, it will be here. I mean, we don't want to blame money by itself. It's just paper, right? Just paper.
Mm.
Whatever currency it is, it's just paper. But there's motive behind the direction it goes.
Mm.
Mhm.
There's motive. For us sitting over here and everybody watching here, if we put $1 million in everybody's hand, we're all gonna do something a little bit different with it.
Mhm.
Because motive is the same amount, but the motive is gonna send it to different places.
Mhm.
So we definitely want to address the motive. You just described what was behind the scene on your spending. The lady in Texas you were talking about, there was something behind the scene for her. The man that went out and spent his salary and not taking care of family at home and spending with girlfriend, there's a motive behind it. I mean, everybody, the man that went into a party and they were singing his name and he was just blowing everything, there's a motive behind it. So there's something, I mean, we just send money on an errand. So the question is, why are you sending the money to that angle?
Mm.
What exactly is the motive? We can use the same money that is destroying this marriage. We can use the same money to build the marriage. We just need to change the motive and make sure we have positive motive. Once our minds are set right, then money will help us to achieve that goal.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Amen. Amen.
Sorry, my viewers, I have three powerful guests on today's show, and they've been able to throw different arrows at this issue we call finances in marriage. And I hope they were able to dissect everything, and you were able to pick one or two things from all what they've said today. But before we round this up, I want to ask you a final question, and this is going to be on romance. How do you think romance can affect a marriage if it is not expressed right? Just to cap it up.
You want me to go first? Or ladies first?
Ladies,
Ladies first.
Ladies first, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, now you're just talking about all the different pillars of marriage, right? Man. Romance. I love romance. I love being in love. And honestly, that is what marriage should be, right? You love me, I love you. Now, let me be serious. Honestly, romance is very important. But should I even say but? There is this book, is it Five Love
Love
Languages?
Languages,
I
yeah.
think is good book to read for anybody. You're in marriage, be in marriage. It's a reminder book to always go back to read to truly understand, and not just read it as individual. For a marriage, read it together, discuss and talk about it. What what is defined as romance for you, as love for you. For people might be washing plates. For me, I love to see my husband, pretending to be a plumber and fixing everything in the kitchen. That could be one, and or it could be like I love my wife dressing out in her best while cooking in the kitchen. That could be for me. So I think for me, romance is one of those things that just keep those butterflies in marriage. Just the same way you felt the very first day you look at this woman or you look at this guy, and you just can't stop thinking. Like for me, I just couldn't stop writing the name in my notebooks while in classes. So it's about doing those little things that truly matters in marriage. And honestly, it's also communicating those needs, because your needs, your romance, whatever is spelled out as romance for you changes over time. We are all evolving and we have to carry each other. Maybe for me to be okay, buy me flowers. Maybe before I don't need flowers, I need you to help me clean up the kitchen. I need that support right now, not the flowers. But trying to carry each other along. Romance in marriage is very important. It's those things again that gives the butterfly, that feeling that you can still be able to turn around and still look at this person and still be able to smile and feel that you're still wanted. You're not old. You're not a sour soup yet. In marriage. So that
So
romance keep romance keep marriage fresh. It makes it taste good all the time whenever you come. So that for me, I'll just stop. When you guys talk, another anointing will follow me, and
Yeah, I will add to that. I see romance as the door. The doors that opens up a lot of things. We're talking about finances, because so you're not talking communicating with me, So you are happy with the person that you have romance with, because I'm not going to be mad, and now I want to be caressing you. I am in my best state. That I love this person. I enjoy this time that I'm spending with this person, and if I'm in that state, I will be able to talk more. I'll be able to express myself more. Talking about finances, I will be able to get, okay, what are you talking about? What are your goals here? Unless, okay, I'm just mad all the time. There's not going to be communication. So romance is a door that opens up things. And that's the reason why couples that struggle in the area of romance, they tend to struggle in many other places as well. Because there is no intimacy. There is no intimacy. And just like our former pastor used to say, he said intimacy means into me, see. Open up into me, see. But if you don't have that intimacy, if I can't see into you, then I don't even know who I'm living with. So that is where the problem comes in. And another thing that I'm going to say is that romance is within the confine of husband and wife. What I'm trying to say is that what is good for other people might not be good for you. I can't go out and say, that lady was doing so. That lady, they talk about this, and I say, okay, I'm bringing it to my family. Let's do it. No. That is when it has to be within what you guys want. How do you want to express yourself to each other? And that is also very important. Again, communication.
Wow, that's good.
That's super brilliant. Good point over there. I think my 2 cents to that is everybody deserves to be loved, and everybody deserves to be appreciated. Now, we live in a society now where everybody's working really hard. I mean, even for women, stay-at-home moms, that people think, oh, it's only the husband that goes to work, the wife is not doing anything. I said, stop it right there. The woman is at home working really hard. So if you're the husband that goes out, your wife is at home, please, it's a lot of work. So now we want to make sure, because we need to ask ourselves the reason why do we have lack of romance in relationship, between husband and wife? At times it could just be stress or lack of appreciation. We need to soften the hearts. As you rightly said, Dr. IBK, for you to be in that best space where you're showing romance to your partner, whoever person is initiating it is in a good state of mind. And to get to that good state of mind, you want to feel good to get there. So you definitely want, as husband and wife, we want to give appreciation, and we definitely want to be loved. And the 5 love languages you said earlier, Madam IBK, very important, Madam Blessing, I'm sorry, very, very important to make sure that you understand how to really love your spouse. Because again, if I cook beans for you and I don't cook it the way you want it, that is useless.
True story.
Right. So I didn't know. Flesh and blood did not receive.
There you go.
So that's true.
Amen.
And if you tell me you're hungry and I make you noodles and you don't want noodles, you want plantain, that noodle is useless, right? So you definitely want to understand how she wants or he wants to be loved, and then give that love. Very important. But appreciation is general. Any little thing, thank you. Ladies want to be, I mean, when they dress up good, you want to say, oh man, you look fancy. I'm learning too. No, you look fancy today. I mean, you don't want to go out there and tell someone else they look fancy without telling your wife that she look awesome. That's an offense. Don't do that. Please.
You will sleep on the couch.
Oh, you on the couch, you will eat no meat. There will be no dinner for you. I mean, a lot of things will be falling on you really fast. Don't do it. So again, romance is very, very important. And I think there was even an article I read on Forbes that if a woman see a lot of romance touches, making her feel loved in her own home, it reduces stress hormones. It increases her immune system. It makes her feel really important. And it's the same thing. You go to work too. You have a boss that really appreciates you. Like, oh, thank you. You did that yesterday. Even if you're a man or a woman, you feel good to do more. So anybody, even Jesus Christ said, didn't I heal 10? Where are the other 9? Only one came back. Everybody wants to feel that sense of you did something good, so you get appreciated for it. The more we do that to ourselves, we don't want to take each other for granted. I mean, if you take it, my wife, it's not her responsibility to cook for me. No! I mean, I appreciate her for doing that. It's her husband, they are his kids now. He pays the school fees, so what's the big deal? That no! I mean, you definitely want to appreciate each other so that we can do more and we can put a lot of oil in the grid or in the wheel of our family. It makes us better. It makes our kids better too.
Wow. To my viewers at home, we've had a lot today from my 3 wonderful, amazing guests. They are really, really sharp at the table. If you didn't join at the beginning, try to watch this again. Again, this show is to help our young unmarried adults out there to choose right, and also to help the married couples to stay in marriage. There will be issues, but the way we can communicate really, really matters. So this show is to encourage us, enlighten us, and also to bless our life. And I'm so happy that we have these 3 guests on the show today. And I hope that if we call them another time, they'll come. They've been able to tell us how important finance is in marriage. They've also been able to tell us how important romance is in marriage. And we would like to leave it to our viewers at home today to digest everything they've said and to make good use of this and let us know what they think. And thank you so much, Dr. IBK. And thank you so much, Miss Blessing. And thank you so much, Dr. Shan, for coming on today's show. Even with your busy schedules, I know you're all busy for helping to pour out into people out there. I really, really appreciate this. I didn't take it for granted. And I pray that God will continue to hold your marriages and family. We'll be stopping today, viewers at home. Until next time, we will come your way. It's still your girl, Cecilia Hope.
Thank you.
Love you all. Have a blessed week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.